Hey everyone, and welcome back to Redacted. Today we have more posts from r/MaliciousCompliance, so let's get into it. This post features a Karen who screws herself out of an internet package for 2 years. I worked for an internet service provider in Australia called iiNet. At the time we were one of the biggest providers, but crucially we did not own our ADSL1 network, and we only on-sold the ADSL1 service from the biggest provider in the country, Telstra. We also had a policy that an ongoing issue should have a case owner, and I was the case owner for this, which is why I got multiple calls about it. One day I get a call from a Karen. While doing an ID check, she provides me her age, which turns out to be in her 40s. Her internet had gone down. I look at the account and I can see she's got on-sold Telstra service. One thing catches my eye. There are thousands of exchanges all around the country. An exchange is a central place your connection goes to, shared by multiple suburbs. And although there are thousands of them throughout the country and you couldn't possibly know them all, I know which one she's on because a few weeks earlier, a friend was considering buying a house in that area and I looked at this one and found that there's no free ports, thus making it impossible to get a new service connected. The waiting list for a new connection was 2.5 years at least. So I ask her to do some troubleshooting steps and she says that she does, but I suspect she's just telling me she's doing them to make me go away. Whatever, there's nothing I can do about that. We exhaust all of the troubleshooting options and I tell her that there appears to be a line fault. I can send out a technician, but it'll take 3 to 5 working days, and if there's actually nothing wrong with the line, she'll be charged $199 plus an additional $40 for every 15 minutes of work to cover the technician's time. I play her the disclaimer that outlines this and she says,
"Yes, I accept,"
on the recording. I lodge a fault. She calls after 2 days, sounding annoyed that things are still offline. I tell her that it hasn't been the full 5 days yet and she hangs up. On the 5th day, I get a technician's report saying no fault found. The next day, she calls back.
"So, my connection is still offline. It's been 5 days. What's happening?"
Well, the technician attended the fault and his report says no fault found.
"What? That's ridiculous. The internet is clearly down and you need to fix it."
I'm sure the internet is offline, but the fault does not appear to lie within our area of responsibility. I would suggest you check your local equipment.
"That's not true. My son is an IT guy and the router is brand new."
Okay, well, I can't speak for the state of your equipment, but our equipment appears to be in working order. Incidentally, I just want to make sure to give you a heads up that we will be placing an incorrect call-out fee on your next invoice.
"You're lying to me. I didn't see any technicians and now you want to charge me over $200 based on your lies. I won't let that happen."
I assure you the technician attended the reported fault. However, you probably didn't see him because they only went over to where the exchange is, which is approximately 4 kilometers away from you.
"You're lying to me. I'm not paying the fee. What can I do now?"
Well, if you're adamant that your equipment is not at fault, your only option is to file another fault and send the tech out again. It is fairly rare, but not completely impossible that the technician was wrong.
"And then you'll pretend you sent the tech and charge me another incorrect call-out fee."
We will most definitely send out another tech, but yes, it is very likely to come back as another no fault found, and in that case, a further fee is likely.
"That's stupid. I've been with you for over 5 years and this is how you treat me? Cancel my service now. I'll go to your competitors. They'll want my money."
Ma'am, the exchange you're connected to only has Telstra ports, and it's at 100% utilization. If I cancel your service, you'll lose your spot, and it's unlikely any of our competitors would be able to provide you any service at all. You should just transfer your service to the next provider. This would allow you to keep your spot.
"Don't you tell me what to do, you lying sack of crap. You will cancel my service now or I will do everything in my power to have you fired."
Okay, ma'am, hold on for a moment. I'll cancel your service. Okay, cancellation processed. Let me just remind you that the incorrect call-out fee is still due.
"You won't see a cent of that."
Noted, but the amount is over collections threshold, so we will send you to collections. After that, she hung up. About a month later, I get a request to transfer to me. It's the same Karen. I take a moment to catch up on her file, and I see that the service is canceled and the fee's been invoiced. I run a quick service qualification on her line, and I can see that our service has dropped off, and there's no other services on her line.
"Hello, I think I spoke to you last time.
Yes, you did.
My internet is still down and you're still charging me for the fee. I need you to get rid of it."
I'm sorry, I cannot do that. The charge is valid.
"Well, I can't pay it. You've ruined my business. I was operating an e-commerce business and that won't be possible anytime soon."
Running a business over residential connection is a breach of the customer service agreement, but I let that slide. I am sorry for your predicament, but the fee does stand.
"I'll do you a deal. If you reconnect my service, I'll pay the fee.
I can probably sign you up again, even though you're behind on payment, but I wasn't lying to you when I told you that there's no ports on your exchange. It's very unlikely you'd get a port, they're all in use. Did you try with our competitors like you said you would?
I did. None of them would even try signing me up because they told me they couldn't provide a service.
We're in the same situation.
Why can't you just give me back my old port?
Because it was given to the first person on the waiting list.
And how long does the waiting list take?
Last I checked, more than 2 years.
This is ridiculous. I'm going to report you to TIO.
You may do so, as is your right. But to be very clear, we will substantiate the validity of our fee.
Whatever.
She did in fact file a complaint with TIO, and I handed her case over to a TIO complaint specialist. I made sure to point out that she was breaching the terms of service with business over residential service. TIO obviously ruled in our favor, and we were allowed to send her to actual collections. Before I left the company about a year and a half later, I caught up on her file and saw that she had filed a loss of business claim, which was summarily closed because residential connections have no service level agreement. Last contact was her speaking to our credit team, asking them to make sure that they mark her debt as paid with our collection people and make sure that this is reflected on her credit rating. There were still no services on her line. It's pretty unlikely that she got any reasonably priced services connected for at least 2 years. Maybe even longer, as demand only ever went up. Well, sometimes you gotta be careful. Sometimes you end up with exactly what you ask for. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and we'll see you next time.